Like Kevin uploading like videos now. And yeah, today's video is going to be looking at the worst retard on the internet. And yeah, just to watch me be stupid.
Violent depictions of women being beaten, raped, and run over by cars.
You can run over anyone in GTA 5 like I just let them run you over in GTA 5. Welcome back, faggots.
It's not the movies, it's video games.
Yes, no shit, dip ass. Like which movie did you see, you fucking retard?
And now the women calling for change in this multi-billion-dollar virtual industry are facing a very real backlash, including death threats. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
For Anita Sarkeesian, this...
Oh, this lady. Yeah, I've seen a video of her. I definitely made videos on her.
...is the new normal. Armed escorts at public events, tracking her every move.
I'm constantly aware of the fact that there's an enormous amount of hate directed towards me.
Yes, because you're a stupid fucking retard.
Hate in the form of bomb threats, rape threats, even death threats.
I love how they said this. Like, has this lady never been on the internet? Because this lady has been one of those people that's very attention-seeking.
On this morning, high alert at Loyola University in Chicago. It's Anita's first speaking engagement since threats of a shooting massacre forced her to cancel her last appearance. All because this media critic dared to criticize something millions of us play every day.
Who plays video games?
Video games. The threats making splashy headlines around the world, on shows like Melissa Harris Perry.
The threat of violence, all too real.
And webcasts like Democracy Now! And HuffPost Live.
Violent threats for pointing out sexism in video games.
Things got heated, to say the least.
The harassment became part of what's now known as Gamergate. What started as an online spat about the ethics of gaming journalism quickly escalated into a full-blown culture war.
Women shouldn't be mere disposable objects or symbolic pawns in stories.
They're not, lady. You fucking retard. Everyone's shitting just like, oh my god, this lady's getting threats, and we don't like that. We don't fucking like that. This lady bitches about the same shit, and it gets really annoying after a while. That's why I never made another video on her.
Is about men.
And a small but hardcore group of gamers resistant to change.
God ordained that it is one man, one joystick.
But Gamergate doesn't just affect boys playing in a basement. The stakes are much higher than you might think. We're now spending more money on games than movies and music combined, to the tune of $21 billion. And what might surprise you, there are now more adult women playing video games than there are teenage boys.
Yes, because the women are also the people who do the same stupid shit, which Anita Sarkeesian does not criticize, which actually puts in the full-depth analysis that she does not just criticize, she only criticizes men, which is she's being sexist, which she's putting out a point that men are sexist. Really destroys her entire argument within 5 seconds, destroyed her channel within my stupid fucking brain. This lady has got to be fucking joking. Within, like, teenage boys play video games, they probably just want to see some pussy at the end of the day. They don't want to see some stupid shit. Only want to see titties. Who are these people, fucking retards?
We're talking about fantastical scenarios like the ones in BioShock, and epic adventures in games like Mirror's Edge. What is it exactly that's so disturbing in some video games that's making women like Anita willing to face death threats?
Well, everyone's seen a death threat. I get death threats, like, it's a fucking, it's so easy to ignore it. But she puts in like, yeah, guys, you can't ignore it. I know it gets repetitive, but just ignore it. No one really gives a shit at the point. No one cares if you get death threats at this point. Like, everyone says, get shit on or get shit on.
Just when you think you hit the worst example or the most misogynist example, you find another one.
Escapism is big business. More than half of us are already playing games like this one, Grand Theft Auto 5. But critics say in these virtual worlds, things often take a turn toward the dark side. As a player, you can solicit a prostitute, kill her, and if that's not enough, you have the option to run her over.
You can run anyone over in GTA 5. Male, female, cow, crow, pigeon. The list goes on. They're just making it feel like, yeah, men are just fucking dicks. Okay? Men are dicks.
The sense of violence against women being used as almost background decoration, right? As texture to make an environment gritty, more real.
There are plenty of games that aren't violent or sexualized, but some of the best-selling games are especially egregious. On her website, Anita dissects these games.
Developers regularly utilize the brutal...
Yeah, the dissecting, I mean, just bullshits the point of her doing anything. It's just like, guys, men are douche bags who don't deserve life. Yeah, dissecting your game is like saying at some point. So more to this point, does it need to be brought up? But then it gets brought up. I'm actually gonna get a drink of water real quick. So I'm actually gonna pause it.
Of women's bodies, and especially the bodies of female prostitutes.
Her goal? To bring attention to what she calls the inherent misogyny in the gaming world.
I'll teach you!
In Watch Dogs, she points out how women are murdered to give the hero a reason to chase down a bad guy.
It gets worse and worse. It reinforces this idea of women as sexual objects, right? It reinforces this idea of women as playthings for their amusement.
And it's this kind of talk that makes her a target.
And that's when the cyber...
Probably because she's like the most hated person. Because she's just an art target.
mob, right? The hate mob descended.
Bombarding her with mostly anonymous tweets and messages. I will rape you when I get the chance. Hiding behind usernames and claims of free speech. I'm sitting outside your apartment with a loaded gun. Your neighbors won't hear you screaming in pain. Someone even created a grotesque game where players can beat and punch a picture of her face. Ow! But the virtual harassment turned very real when her online attackers published her social security number, her home address. And she's not the only one.
They told me they were coming to kill me. They told me specifically they were going to castrate my husband.
Women like Brianna Wu, an independent game developer,
Was even driven out of her home, all for simply tweeting her opinion.
When someone posts your address...
Yes, I know, okay. I know this is very serious and shit, but I'm about to tell you something. When things like this happen, you know that, some sort of policeman will get involved, and some other shit will happen. Like, if you say something like this, people will track down for them. It's like you've never heard of a cop.
Online, and they tell you they're going to murder your whole family.
Okay, yeah, that is very serious. I'm gonna say that this lady is just... Okay, I know I've always made the joke that people need to deserve some people nicer than others. But this lady seems really harmless. This lady doesn't seem like you're doing anything wrong.
You don't really feel safe staying at that location.
So far, the Gamergate harassment against Brianna and other women like her has remained online. But the FBI is taking it seriously enough that it started a file.
I'm so hesitant to use the phrase terror because I think it's such a politically loaded word, but it's terrorism on women in this industry. It's scaring every single one of us.
Why such hate? Why such anger? I think a lot of it comes from this idea that gaming is a male-dominated space, right?
No, it really isn't. You just proved your own point, you fucking idiot, so... Just continue to be watching this retard.
That games are for men, by men. It's a very misogynist backlash. We are not meant to be treated with respect.
Something even the casual female gamer is sadly familiar with. Watch what happens when the men in this online session of Counter-Strike learn that there's a woman playing in their midst.
Are you an archaeologist? Because I have a big bone and he's examining this is pretty good.
I'll probably say male gamer. It always sounds like a man.
If I subscribe, stop spamming. Kiss.
It's less...
Dude, that's just a sad man. Like, they can't just really say, well, if I subscribe... That's just a sad man, okay? That big boner man, that's hilarious. This lady probably, I don't know. I don't really know.
brutal than what Anita and Brianna experienced, but it does show the ease with which offensive behavior is tossed out at women.
I'd give you my skin for some skin, if you know what I mean, huh, sexy lady, huh?
I'm really just here to play, like everybody else.
But she's not treated like everyone else, which is at the
First of all, if she's hot, if it's an ugly girl, then they're probably going to be fine.
heart of Gamergate. Media critics argue women like Stephanie need to stop being abused as players in the real world and as avatars in the virtual world. And given that women make up nearly half of this country's gamers, this isn't a feminist issue, it's just smart business.
The demographics should be a huge wake-up call to executives at gaming companies because there is a huge amount of money to be made out of taking women seriously and out of demonstrating to women that you are taking them seriously.
We've reached out for comment multiple times to Rockstar Games, Ubisoft, the companies behind these games, to ask about the way women are portrayed. But thus far, we've received no reply. And yet there are some signs of change in the gaming community.
It's time to just realize things from a different perspective. It's time to see, how would someone else, how would a woman look at this?
More and more developers like Tim Schafer are seeing the need for more women programmers and more girl-friendly games, like Broken Age.
I better go find that now.
You do realize that almost half the entire games you can just mod it. GTA 5, you can mod it that you can, I don't know, what do you do in GTA 5? I don't really own GTA 5 because it doesn't feel like my game. GTA San Andreas though, like, feels like my game.
I mean, once you sat down and tried to play the game with your daughter and tried to find games where she can play a character that she identifies with, you start to feel bad about not putting that option in your own.
So I'm about to tackle something really serious. So I'm not surprised that you guys get mad at me. Some women feel like men and some men feel like women. So sometimes it's really hard choosing a game that really suits you. But when you start saying that you're forcing someone, it ruins your entire statement. A little bit ruins your statement.
Games.
Even Lara Croft, the famous Tomb Raider, got a makeover. More clothes, less curves.
I remember playing Tomb Raider Guardian of the Light, and it was produced by a woman, and it was like a really good game. The game did well, so we're gonna see more of that.
The majority of gamers, like Chris Scott, manager of 8-Bit and Up, condemn Gamergate's threats of violence.
Which way is he? Which way is he?
But he's not alone in believing critics like Anita exaggerate the problem.
She's trying to capitalize on controversy.
He also...
See, this guy gets it. This guy gets entire Anita Sarkeesian shit, that she only wants to pinpoint on the controversies, not anything else. She wants to pinpoint on that controversial spot, but just something you don't talk about. I'm telling you this now. Don't talk about controversy and then say they're not going to get any backlash as a sort of way to get your wake-up call.
As the gaming world on the whole shouldn't be judged by a few extreme examples.
Okay, when people complain about games like Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, or whatever, it's similar to complaining about hip-hop and rap music today, saying, well, it's violent. That's not what hip-hop is about. You can't judge gaming by what's selling. You have to really get into the medium to...
This guy makes a really good statement. Do not judge a book by its cover. You really gotta see what's inside of the game. Not just, and it's a kid that's pointing out a controversy and then saying that it's all about men doing this shit. This is my problem.
Stand it before you start saying, well, this is what gaming is about.
Scott suggests, at the end of the day, they're just games.
I know in the real world there are...
They really are just games, like, really.
Strong women that don't need to be saved.
How do you respond to critics who say, well, this is fantasy, this is not reality, you have to lighten up?
Seriously, she's about to destroy her own argument within 17 seconds. I'm gonna see this one.
Yeah, that's a fun argument. Games have a huge impact on our society.
Yeah, see, she's destroying her own argument. Yeah, guys, and then again, she did say in one of her videos that it's not really... It doesn't matter, so she really just destroyed her own point with this entire shit.
So it's not just fantasy. It actually works to potentially reinforce some pretty...
No. Most people already see what game is. I play more cartoony games because I don't like some serious shit, like GTA San Andreas doesn't have really real life graphics, so it doesn't really tell me to fucking kill some fucking person on the street.
Harmful messages about women.
For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in San Francisco, California.
Later.